welcome back to my channel. It's Jewel. I have a journal flip through today, and this is actually the second time I'm recording this because apparently I must not have flipped the record button. So doing it again. So second time for this flip. This is a soft-sided journal, and this is a guest design team project for Junk with Steph using her little Prairie kit. And I adored working with the images in this kit. Beautiful, vivid illustrations, just gorgeous. So let's get into it. I used just a soft, it's a soft covered journal, fabric covered journal, soft-sided journal. But I didn't put any embellishing on the front because this is such a beautiful fabric and I felt like it stood alone. So I just did the decorative stitching through it, and there is lace on the edges of the cover and several of the pages throughout. And as you can see, we've got lots of trims coming out the top. These are silks and lace. And I will show you, we've got some beautiful bead dangles at the bottom. These are faceted glass beads, and then some gold plated beads down here. So these can be cut off if you feel like they get in the way, but I put them down low enough where they don't get in the way to journal. Now I do have this beautiful, lovely tassel adorning the spine, and this can be removed. It's simply secured with this crocheted trim at the top ribbon, and it's just tied on there, so you can take the tassel off if you find it gets in the way. I just love the colors because the colors in this book are so vivid in the illustrations that she has. I was able to go to my stash and find some gorgeous silk pieces that I think did justice to the, and then I've got satin trims and golds and, you know, soft trims and some crocheted. That's throughout the book as well. So let's go in. I have a double seam binding tie enclosure here. And you can see the book got a little chunky. It kind of just popped open. Let's go to the first page, the inside cover, and I'll sit down while I go through this book because the illustrations are just so gorgeous, and I just want to make sure you can see them. I have a lace pocket here, and I did do the fabric on the inside cover as well. So in this lace pocket, you have plenty of room, you know, for more items, but I put a booklet in here that I made out of 2 of the images from the kit. And I did some stenciling on the front and the back cover. And this is mohair paper, moleskin paper. And it's just really, it's got a nice tooth to it, and it's wonderful to journal on. There's actually 2 of these booklets in here that you can take out, pop into your purse to journal on, or leave them in there. And I've got this beautiful large tag here where I did a die cut and then took one of the images and put it on the die cut. Everything is inked in this book. I did a lot of inking, stenciling, stamping, and lots of trims. And that beautiful image, beautiful illustration. So I'll pop that in there. That's just in the front cover. You can see this. I didn't put anything on here because the image is so pretty. There are plenty of tuck spots and pockets through this book, and there's also plenty of journaling space. So I've got a pocket here with one of the images from the kit. Everything pretty much in here is from the kit. All of the illustrations, or they are like this. I have several of these. These are vintage advertisements from one of my old vintage magazines from the early 1900s, and I've cut the advertisements out and I backed them on a nice heavy cardstock for journaling. So I've made tags and journaling cards out of different things from the vintage magazine. This is just a flip out tag, and I've got some silk trim and some cotton crocheted trim. I made that out of a portion of one of the images. I've got a doily flip up here, crochet doily, and I used a lot of these vintage style papers throughout. I have some really nice papers in this book. I'll point them out as we go through. This is cardstock here, and I have just some lace trim at the top with a grommet and this little ball pin with, it says, a charm that says peace. And I gessoed the back of this for writing. I did a video on making, how to make these inserts out of envelopes. So this is one of the envelopes. You put two envelopes together, and this is one of the envelopes. And this is a vellum tuck on one side, and I've got a rosebud applique, and let's tuck that in there. Now on this side of the envelope, this just pops out. This has been, I've got two Velcro dots, and then you have the pocket in here, and I put an image from the kit. That one I need to ink. I did not ink that. Then I have this old ledger sheet here, and tucked in this tuck, and also one of these old advertisements that I made into a tag. And then I did some trim here. I've got an Edith Holden page here. There's several in throughout the book. I made this crafty bag out of baking paper. And we've got some trim and a little rosebud applique. And in it, I've just tucked one of the images from the kit that I printed out for more journaling space. Or to write a note on and send to your pen pal or whatever. More trim, some stenciling, some more of that pretty vintage paper. This is a pop-up or a flip-up, fabric flip rather, and I did some trim out of the silk at the top. Made a ruffle trim with some decorative stitching, and this is just sewn to this parchment writing paper, and this is this has a real nice feel, and it when you write on it or whatever, it prints really well. I forgot to mention this is a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I have two, let me grab I have two signatures, quite chunky in it, and the book is, I think it's like 8.5, oops, 9 by 5. Well, yeah, just under 5. 9 by 5. So I've got some stenciling here on that parchment paper, writing paper. I've got some antique look paper here. Here's an image I printed on vellum from the kit. We've got a little collage prompt up here. It says create with some trims. another image, and I left this side plain to journal on. Now, I was going to mention something. Oh, this is again, most of the images I printed in here, I did print on this parchment type writing paper, but the cardstock images are done with a high quality double-sided photo paper, so they really have a nice bright color, and they look to me just beautiful. Here's one with the tag that I made into a tag I sewed around, and you can see I used that image as a tuck spot. Here's one of the advertisements from the the vintage magazine, backed on cardstock. And the cardstock I used in here for my pockets, I thought went really well with the colors of the kit. There's a lot of vivid greens and oranges and, oh, you know, then the bright reds and magentas, and it's just beautiful, colorful kit. Here's the center of the first signature. There's two little envelopes here, and each one has this little writing, little letter in them for you to do a little secret journaling on. Got some crochet trim here, and these two pockets are these beautiful tags, or I should say this beautiful image that I made into tags from the kit, and on the top is some silk trim. Another image or illustration from the kit, and I've got a little bag I made out of, or I guess you could call it a little bag, coin envelope. I made out of a vellum that I printed on, and two more illustrations from the kit to journal on. Also, I'm going to add, I did have some extra right here, and I will pop these into the recipient of this book. This will be listed, today is Thursday, this will be listed in my Etsy store either tomorrow or Saturday. I don't think I'll get to it this afternoon. I've got too many things on my plate today. And these are done on that high quality photo paper. Also, I was thinking these could be popped into a envelope, and you can put a note on them, and you know, for happy mail, or use them as gift tags. They're just so beautiful. Stenciling, image from the kit. More printed vellum. We've got a flip up vellum ledger piece here, and I just have it secured with this pretty washi tape. Plenty of room for writing. We've got some collaging here, just for interest on the page. Some stamping here. This is like a little basket. I think those are eggs and some bread loaves and like a napkin hanging out. Just kind of reminded me of like the Prairie feel. We've got another one of those bags and another image that I printed for you to write on. The one side is blank. Stencil, got the Edith Holden paper. We've got, this is another one of the other side of one of the, I did two of these envelope in you know, sewn in. So there's like 4 envelopes. So these are the pockets that I did a video on. Here's just a tag here that I did gesso on, so you can write on it. Some trim, beautiful image from the kit, vellum pocket, rosebud trim. On this side, I have a piece of, or a tag that I made out of the old advertisement tucked in there. 2 more of the illustrations from the kit. So there's plenty of room for journaling. You can even write on here. You got more room for tucking. Hopefully I left these ties long enough so you could add more to the book. Got another beautiful tag here, cardstock, and some gesso and some silk trim at the top. This is a pocket out of one of the illustrations from the kit. Some stenciling, double stenciling behind there. Lace on the edge here. There's the other part of that image. We've got this image here from the beginning of the next signature. This has got some decorative stitching around it and also some beautiful lace trim on the side. I hope my lighting is good today. It's kind of dark out. I've got 2 lights on. I think it looks okay. We've got a pocket here out of one of the illustrations from the kit, and this, I just love this one. Such a great illustration. And a ledger paper there for writing on. Some of that vintagey paper. This is a little tablet that I've sewn in. I've got a lace cover, and this is all moleskin paper, and it just says Dream there. So there's quite a few pieces of this lovely moleskin paper, and I sewed it right in onto the paper so you can still write all over here and then write on all of these. Stamping, another one of the envelopes. Image or illustration from the kit. A larger one here. Some of them I shrunk to different sizes. Some of them I left large and cut them up for tags. Some of them, I did different things with. There's a lot of possibilities. Another one of the illustrations, a vellum pocket and a rosebud. And then this vivid kind of magenta eyelash trace here, or eyelash lace. And I need to tie that again. And I thought that looked pretty with the regular lace at the top that went with this tag. Stenciling, paper printed from the kit. Got this Edith Holden page. I love the thickness of this book, this Edith Holden book. Antique looking paper. Got I thought the fabric was so pretty, I just wanted to add one more piece in. So there it is there. It's a nice quality fabric too. Good high-end quality fabric. We've got clipped with a Tim Holtz mini clip here. One of the images from the kit that I made into a tag. And then we've got a little fruit bowl up there, stamp. On this side, we have an old, a vintage magazine advertisement, printed vellum. Another tag, gessoed on the back. Just made a pocket with one of the illustrations from the kit. I believe I added at least one of every illustration in the kit. And if I didn't, here are the remaining ones. So the entire kit was used in the book. Here's the middle of the second signature, and I love the way the spread went. I did some silk green trim here with some crocheted, and then made these 2 tags out of one of the illustrations from the kit. And what I did is I made a fabric ruffle at the top and just simply sewed it on the top for a tab on each one, and that's that silk trim. Silk fabric, I should say. And back here you'll see it's stenciled. Got a pocket. I didn't really do a lot of embellishing on the images because they are so beautiful and I felt they stood alone. So we've got another illustration from the kit, little advertisement tag I made, and then an offcut from one of the papers from the kit that I just made into like just a piece of ephemera there for more writing. The vellum, did a little trim up here for interest. A beautiful parchment writing paper. The other Edith Holden page. So beautiful. Look at this illustration. I went through my Edith Holden books and I went with the colors I felt would lend the best to this, to the kit. Got a little bit of a ledger sticker up here. This is the other side of the paper. Stenciling. This is another part of the envelope tuck area. I just have an offcut from one of the tags, and I did some gessoing and just did a little staple clip there. So that just tucks in there with a little prompt, says create. Little rosebud enameled piece on some silk, and probably could be my favorite image right there from the kit. One of two, I think. One of two. Another tag. Some of that magenta, I guess that's the color you'd call that. So vivid. Eyelash trim and some lace trim at the top of that one. The vellum pocket. Got a little stamping here with some leaves. Another pocket made out of illustration from the kit. And two more. And these, I think I need to ink. I need to ink these. Aren't they great? Love them. Some lace. There's the back of that. I just love this photo paper. It's got such a nice texture to it. It's probably the nicest photo paper I've found yet. It's got a good heavyweight cardstock. Another booklet. Isn't that beautiful, that illustration from the kit? Beautiful. And again, all of the moleskin papers. And then a large tag, just like in the beginning, the front. Plenty of room in the lace pocket for more. So that is my newest journal, and I was absolutely, here's the back of that fabric. You can see how pretty it is. Delighted to work with this. Again, this is Junk with Steph, Little Prairie. And Stephanie also has a Facebook page. Let me write it down. And it's called, I think she started it about a year ago. It's doing quite well. It's a very active group, a Facebook group, I should say. It's called Just Junkin'. And you can find that on Facebook. So there's a lot of fun things to do on that group. Great group. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching and stopping by. And check out Stephanie. Okay. God bless.